Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel Armor for All. Beyond the Steel Sky. I found this game by accident when I was browsing all the new offers on the GOG website, and what I can tell you so far, I really like this game, so let's take a closer look on it. So if you're asking yourself, what is GOG? GOG is a website where you can buy DRM-free games. I'm very sure many of you know this already, but I will put the link in the description, so just check it out. Great website, because I actually like games without copy protection, and yeah, and I'm not getting any money from GOG, and because I'm not getting any money from GOG, make sure if you're new to my channel, subscribe to my channel please, leave me a like, leave me a comment, tell me what you think about this video. I would much appreciate it, okay? Thank you very much. Okay, so here we are with the game, and as always, you know me, I try not to spoiler too much. But yeah, unfortunately, you will see a couple of spoilers, of course, but no worries at all. This is the very beginning from the game, and it is more like a tutorial in the beginning. So it is not much spoiler, okay? So, couple of facts to the game. Obviously, third-person adventure game in the style of a point-and-click adventure, which means a lot of text, a lot of clicking, okay? Developer is Revolution Software, and now I can see that some people of you say, hey, wait a moment, I know this studio, and yes, you're absolutely right. Those are the makers of the from the Broken Sword series with George Stobbart and Nicole, what was her name? Can't remember, but anyway, George Stobbart, Broken Sword series, great point-and-click adventure, and I played the first part on the PlayStation 1. Yes, PlayStation 1, Broken Sword, or the German name was Baphomets Fluch. Baphomets Fluch, yeah, I can remember this. And I finished this point-and-click adventure on the PlayStation 1, and it was awful in terms of loading times, believe me. Nowadays, you have no idea what we experienced back then. And we're talking already about PlayStation 1. I started with Commodore 64 and Amiga, okay? I know how to suffer in terms of loading times, okay? This is nothing when you have to wait 5 seconds. But that's a different topic, okay? So, the game is released, or was released last year around, I think, March, for the PC and iOS, which means iPhone and Mac. So there's no console version, unfortunately, because I would actually say this is a perfect game for consoles to play this on the couch, but nothing so far for the consoles. Okay, so let's talk about gameplay, controls, and what do we have to do actually in this game. And as I said before, it's an adventure game, point-and-click adventure, okay? That means you have a lot to read, a lot to listen, a lot of conversations with NPC like Pixel here, or with him, absolutely useless, this guy. Anyway, and her, of course, she helped us a lot in terms of getting stuff. Not spoiling anything here, try not to. But it is still a point-and-click adventure, which really means a lot of text, a lot of reading. But that's okay. So far, I really like the story. And I have to say there's not too much around the main story, what you have to listen to. It is always like it is, you know what I mean? In every game you have additional story, what you have to listen or what you have to read. That's how it works, okay? At this very moment it's okay. I hope it will not getting more, because I don't like to waste too much time, you know, to listen to nonsense, okay? So I hope you get my point. So, of course I'm playing with a joypad, but you also can play this game with mouse and keyboard. And let's have a quick look on the inventory. I haven't used it so much, to be very honest, at the moment, because you don't need this, because if there is any interaction possibilities like with this one, you get your inventory here, and then you can choose between all the stuff what you need, okay? So, but let's have a quick look on the settings menu, or the menu at all. So we have, of course, our inventory menu, which gives you an overview on all the items what you got, and hints. Very important hints, because if you don't know what to do, you can actually ask for a hint. And every 30 seconds, it will reveal you a new hint. And in this case, I have done everything. Or why is there a way to activate the bridge to open? Use the purple hand scanner by the bridge. Okay, so that's the hints what you get. And I think after some times, if you can't solve it, there are more hints coming up, okay? Till you really can follow all the hints and they tell you exactly what to do. Controls, of course, it will just tell you what to do. Yeah, it is straightforward, to be honest. If you used a controller before, you have no problems at all. Okay, game, save game, load game, menu, quit. And of course we have our option menu, audio, video, game and language, and they're just the usual settings. And we're talking about the video settings, of course, later in the performance test. Game settings, subtitles on, off, and so on. And language, of course, what you know. And I'm really happy it's actually in German. I haven't tried it because the English language or the English voices are really great. So maybe I need to check out the German voices, because usually the German translations, or how you say this, not the translation, the people who are talking, they're actually sometimes better than the English ones. Okay, so let's talk about performance, technique and settings on my PC. And what I can tell you, you actually need a very fast GPU if you like to play this game in 4K without or with 60 FPS minimum, okay? Right now in the very first beginning, or let me start with my PC. It's a 16-core CPU from AMD 5950, and my GPU is a Gaming Trio X from MSI 3070 with 8 GB of RAM. And just a little bit about 8 GB of RAM. In some of the games, 8 GB already too less, okay? Not in this game. As you can see, we have around 4 GB of memory, VRAM. And also what you can see, hopefully on your screen, the CPU performance doesn't matter at all in this game. You can see it's 7%. It really doesn't matter on what CPU you're playing this game. This needs GPU power, and this needs a lot of GPU power. Maybe not in the very first beginning, in the first level, or first episode here, but I played three and a half hours so far, and I can tell you, you have a frame rate between 200 and 30 FPS. Yes, it's really that worse, and in my opinion, a little bit of a, maybe a performance issue with the engine, because they are really, I can't actually believe it. You have really gaps between 30 and 200 frames just when you walk from outside to inside. And that's a little bit too much in my opinion, okay? So, I would say let's talk about the settings and my preferred settings at this very moment. So at this very moment, we're talking about around 85, 90 frames per second, which is absolutely fine in this episode, in this scene here. But again, in later levels, it comes down to 30 FPS, and I will show you this as well. So I'm not quite sure. So I did already a couple of Let's Plays because it took me some time, of course, from this level to the next level. And then I realized, oh, damn it, I can't play with the settings anymore. So at this very moment, I'm using the highest settings. So I just changed frame limiter. So usually the standard is this. Borderless 4K resolution here. Let's change this to full screen again. You can change, of course, your resolution as you like it. But in my case it's 4K because of the TV. Resolution quality, you can just change it in 25% steps, unfortunately. And of course there's no point to change it from 4K to 50, because then you can actually use a different resolution also. But absolutely up to you, of course. Maximum frame rate limiter is unfortunately 60 FPS at this very moment. Sorry. Wrong explanation, because right now my TV runs at 60 FPS, because otherwise you have to, let's say like this, otherwise the vertical sync will not sync to 60 FPS if the TV is running in the background with 120 Hertz. Okay, so that's why I had to use then the frame rate limiter, and then it was limited to 60 FPS. But because the VSync was not really synchronizing, you had a couple of very minor stuttering, okay? Setting the Hertz to 60 FPS solved everything. The game is absolutely smooth as butter with 60 FPS. Then of course we have rendering, detail level, everything is set on high at this very moment, and this is okay, this is very nice. So what I found is you can, of course, to avoid dips below 60 FPS, you can go down with your resolution quality, but oh, this was too much. 50 is really not good. But even going down from 100 to 75, I mean, I'm sitting very close at the moment. It's of course a little bit harder to see further away, but this game needs resolution because of this all the nice details in the background and so on. It needs resolution. You can easily spot if this game is not running in 4K, if this running in 75 of the resolution, 75% of the resolution. I easily can spot this in the background. When I'm changing this back to 100, then it is so much clearer, absolutely so much clearer. Unfortunately, yeah, you have to have a compromise if you're just using a 3070. And just using a 3070 is actually a little bit wrong because there's not much what comes after this. We have a 3080 and a 3090, and a 3090, to be very honest, it's not crap, but you don't want to pay this money for 10% more power over the 3080, okay? And back then I was not able to get a 3080, that's why I ended up with the 3070. So, in my opinion, the performance from the game is not that great. I mean, we're talking about 4K, yeah, but it can't be that in some levels or this, yeah, some levels, yeah, it's really like levels or episodes. I have 100 frames or 150 frames per second, then I'm going into a room or whatever, and then I'm dropping to 30 FPS. This can't be right, okay? Anyway, so let me show you a couple of things what you can do. So we're changing this, and of course, again, resolution quality, you can go to 1440p, which is still okay on the TV if you play a little bit further, you know what I mean, you're further away, but I can easily spot the difference. I mean, now we have 100 frames per second, and this is actually really the way to go in my opinion, because changing other options like shadow quality, and shadow quality is the option what brings you the most FPS, okay? So let's go back here to 4K and I'll show you what I mean. So what do we have at the moment? 60 FPS, is this correct? Really? 60 FPS is my VSync on? No, wait. Oh yeah, sorry. VSync is on. Okay. So we have 87 FPS, okay? So changing the shadow quality will improve the frames per second the most, what I found, but it will end up with very, very bad shadow quality. So what I found between, it's the same in almost every game, between epic settings and the next like high or ultra, there's not much different, okay? So medium is a big step already, what you can see here. And we have 20 FPS more, I think 20 or 15 FPS more, which helps you a lot in certain scenes as well, you know what I mean? You can increase your frame rate from 30 FPS to over 70 frames per second, what I found. But this is not nice anymore, of course. This is not nice. And let me just show you. When we go have high settings, which looks so much better, but we're just gaining, or yeah, I think we're gaining just around maybe 5 FPS, which is not enough in certain scenes to have, yeah, a frame rate over, so it's 3 FPS by the way. So again, there's not much difference between epic and high, but yeah, in certain scenes in later games, and I will show you this in a second, you need to do something in terms of resolution or shadow quality, otherwise you're ending up with stuttering. Okay, so here we are with around 3 hours of gameplay time, and I hope I'm not spoiling too much. This apartment, the frame can drop down to 30 FPS with 4K and epic settings, okay? Which, again, I really like the graphics side, it looks amazing. VSync is off at the moment, that's why you have a very bad tearing. But you can see 50 FPS is really, really bad, and when we go here in, then it goes down to 35 because of all the particle effects here in the end, and also the shadowing here. So what I found is really, if you like to increase your frame rate, then what you have to do is really shadows and effects. So this is the most and of course resolution, but the two settings like shadows going to from epic to medium, and effects from epic to medium will bring you a really nice performance boost. But again, shadow quality medium looks really, really worse in my opinion. So it's not it's not worth it, to be very honest. The effect quality, what I found, it's still okay with medium, what I found so far, okay? I don't know how it is in the later game, but in terms of shadow quality, I actually really can't recommend changing shadows to medium because it looks awful, okay? Maybe not in this scene, but I showed you this before, but you can see between epic and high, there's not much difference. We had 3 FPS in the other scenes, and maybe here it's around 5 FPS, which is still a little bit, but it will not help you to maintain 60 FPS, okay? So you have to do something. And the only other thing is, of course, you can now go down to, let's say, everything to 1 step down. And let's see what we have now, 67, 68. This is okay because it will not change too much from the visual quality. But again, it's a bummer. It's really a bummer that you have such a big difference in terms of frame rate, you know, between really us. I have seen almost 200 FPS, and in this room I have just 30 FPS, which is, again, it is not nice. Okay, let's change this back to high. It looks so much better, the shadow quality. Can you see this here? When you go back to medium, the same here on the carpet, you know, if you go to medium, you're losing all the nice shadow quality, which is really a big bummer. And even now with the settings, go 1 step down from epic to high, it's not enough. It's not enough to keep 60 FPS. So, and as you can see, I'm really struggling with the settings on my PC for this game, especially when you like to record in at least 60 FPS, because now we are out on from the building, and 4K epic settings, 120 FPS. Of course, it will change when you move around. 130, when you look here, you have, of course, a little bit less, but still over 100 FPS, which is more than enough to keep 60 FPS, of course. It's a bummer because it looks so nice in the highest settings, you know. Look at the shadow quality and all the quality, no aliasing, nothing at all. And this is what I really like. You know me, cell shading graphic without no aliasing, it's the best. But as soon you have to reduce settings, yeah, you're getting aliasing, you're getting edges, you get bad shadow quality, and yeah, resolution quality changing from 100 to 75 is also it's a solution, but also it's not the best, because now this is absolutely not sharp anymore. It is, you're losing so much details, unfortunately. Yeah, again, but look now at the FPS, 170 FPS, which you don't need at all in a game like this. 60 FPS is fine. Okay, so let's moving on to bugs. So let's talk about bugs, because I found a couple of, and to make this very clear, there are no big game changer, okay? They're just bugs or annoying things. Let's you call it like this, because not sure if this is actually a bug, okay, or how you like to call it, okay? You have your door here, and go away, and you stay in front of a chair or a table, and you like to interact with this door, and you like to use it. So, but your character can't do it at the moment because there is something in the way, and sometimes it takes you a little bit that you actually can do something, you know. It takes you a couple of seconds because the character is not reacting anymore. So, but if you know this, of course, after a couple of times, you know what to do, and then everything is fine, okay? So, close the door, perfect. The other bug what I found is in terms of the conversations with your NPCs, in terms of the puzzles what you get. So sometimes it happened, and it happened twice to me so far. Let's say you're getting, and I'm making things up, or a story thing up like right now, because I don't want to spoiler. Let's say you get a puzzle from an NPC like, please get me some flowers, yellow flowers, whatever. Okay, so you get this puzzle, you find the yellow flowers, and you like to return them, the flowers, to the character, and you start a conversation, and it can happen that the character is starting again with the whole story, which is already done. You know what I mean? Because you already got the flowers, you already did a part from the story, but it's starting again, and you have to ask exactly the same questions again. What flowers are you talking about? And blah, blah, blah. Where can I get them? It's a little bit annoying. So it happened twice to me. Let's see, 3 hours of gameplay time. I hope it will not happen many more times, because this shouldn't happen, of course. In a point-and-click adventure, I can't actually really accept any storytelling bugs, to be very honest. Technical bugs like this, what we have seen in the apartment with the chair, and he can't move, okay. But when it comes to story in a point-and-click adventure, it shouldn't be like this, okay? Okay, time for a summary, and I really like this game. I really like this game. There are a couple of things, of course, what I don't like the settings, the graphic settings. And this, by the way, is as almost in every PC game. And that's why I'm preferring actually playing on a console, because you don't have to bother about this. You know what I mean? I get the point that this graphic is much better, of course, compared to PlayStation 5 or Xbox if we would play the same game. I'm very sure, because if a 3070 from MSI can't keep up with 60 FPS all the time in 4K, we can't expect this from a console, okay? We can't expect 4K 60 FPS all the time from an Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5. I get this point, but it is so much easier. You know, you just start the game, you don't have to worry about, you don't have to bother about, because the console is doing this for you, you know, to keep all the time 60 FPS, it will change the resolution in the background and so on. And of course, we have seen this in other games, that you actually have an option like dynamic render scaling or stuff like that, you know, where you put in, I like to have all the time 60 FPS, and your game is doing exactly what the consoles are doing, okay, reducing the resolution and so on. I would like to have this here, because it will make your life much easier, you know what I mean? This is actually a must-have in all the PC games, you know? Leave everything on Epic if you have a fast graphic card, and just change this, let's say, options, I like to have 60 FPS all the time. Do your thing, whatever you have to do, graphic engine, okay, to keep my 60 FPS. Because as you can see, in most of the cases, I have 60 FPS. Easily, I have easily over 60 F in most of the cases, but in some cases, it goes down to 30 FPS. And again, for recording, for my Let's Plays, this is worst case, absolutely worst case, because I like to record in the highest quality and I can't do it, okay? Anyway, but the game is great so far. I like the story, I like the character design, I like the cel shading graphic. Again, I really love it, and I can't wait to play again. Can't wait to continue playing. So again, check out my other channel, please, because I uploaded so far. I uploaded a couple of Let's Plays, but I scheduled or released at least one part so far. Not sure what time you're watching this video, of course. But anyway, yeah. That's for this video, so check it out on GOG. You know, it was on special, I think, at the moment, $29, 29 Australian dollars. Really nice to play if you like story-based point-and-click adventures. I just can recommend it, because I'm expecting it actually to get even better story over the time, because this is Revolution software, and yeah, I'm just expecting a very good story, okay? So anyway, that's for this video today. I say thank you very much, and don't forget to subscribe, please, okay? Because that is how you can support this channel, okay? So I would much appreciate it, okay? Thank you very much, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.